April 23, 1269. 5 years have passed since the night of fire and steel, and Dunwick has risen from the ashes, stronger and more resolute. Our city thrives, its people's determination turned to stone and mortar, fields and faith. The church bells ring with the sound of hope, and our streets buzz with industry. Today, a scout brought word that bandits, those vile serpents who once sought to suffocate our nascent hope, are encamped in a region newly sworn to Dunwick's banner. Their presence is a blemish upon our lands, a challenge to the peace we have so dearly bought. Faithfully, Alred of Dunwick. Welcome, dear friends, back to the city of Dunwick. We have made great strides in our colonization of this area. We're in the harvest season of our 3rd year, and so it's time to bring everybody off of the industry to assist with our harvest. The quicker we can get the harvest in, the better. At the end of the last episode, we placed down our manor, and we came up with some ideas for future expansion, but I don't think I shared them. We have lots of housing plots. We have 27 families and a capacity for 37. The main aim of this episode will be to get our main industries functioning, as well as press some claims into other regions before this Baron is able to take more territory. He's claiming currently the region of Nuslo. I think that's how you pronounce it. Which one is that? There's this large region here that he's pressing a claim into, and we are not yet at anywhere near close to having enough reputation to press any claims. Now, in the last episode, I also jump-started brewing beer so that we could get some level 3 plots going, but I didn't finish off that process. This northern section here is where all of our tradesmen are going to go. And so we want to get those plots built ASAP. Once the harvest is in, we will make sure to get construction underway really quickly. I will also probably expand those plots already built and give them gardens as well. We have a nice amount of regional wealth coming in, 500 regional wealth, so we have enough room here to really expand the capabilities of the townsfolk. And we still have lots of room for upgrade without having to build more plots. High density housing. We will need to upgrade the church at some point. There is some dissatisfaction because we haven't got any beer, and that is one of the needs of a level 2 plot. We have nearly all level 2 plots at this point. We started bringing in some barley. We do have a field that's capable of growing barley, but if we rely on that, it's going to take a couple of years to come in until we actually have full production. And the taxation that I implemented is also hurting, so I may have to roll that back just so we can keep expanding the size of the town. The food variety is good, little bits of meat. We need to expand our clothing as well. We have got sheep coming in. I brought lots of lamb in last episode, but they don't seem to be growing up, and our approval rating is still dropping. So I think I'm going to have to roll back the taxes. But let's at least spend some of this personal wealth we've earned with our 10% land tax. Customize the retinue. We've got enough to add 3 more. Personal soldiers. Here we are here. Albrecht, Erhardt. You can customize their looks, colors. Armor. You can import armor, or you can build it yourself. Not sure which way we'll go yet. Our villagers are very efficient at getting the fields ready. We have 2 ox that plow the field, and that's why we have 2 farmhouses. Really just knock it out, and then they can spend all their other time doing other harder work. So the Baron's brigands are patrolling his newly claimed region. So that gives him quite the advantage in space. And it also limits our options for growth without having to go to war with him, I think. Managed to stabilize the approval while still keeping the taxation. So let's buy another. I want to try and expand to the full 12. There we go. Another guy. Thomas, welcome aboard. Town of Dunwick needs you. We are already earning a decent amount of regional wealth from our villages, so I haven't really dabbled in trade. We've just been exporting our excess berries, and now that bread is coming in, we don't really even need berries anymore. But I'm a bit of a hoarder when it comes to resources. I was tempted to import honey, but then I also don't like paying for things. It's a little bit of a dichotomy in there. We have 10 lambs, and they don't appear to be aging. We've put them in a pasture that seems to have halted the aging process. And so I was hoping to harvest wool from them, and that's not happening yet. I'm probably going to turn this corner plot. It doesn't seem to be able to satisfy its own needs for whatever reason. It's probably too far from the market, or I've given the families too much to do. So I may convert that into our brew house. We have a pretty large stockpile of raw goods, so it's time to fill out the industry. Let's build... The bloomery is going to turn our iron ore into steel ingots, steel bars, and then I believe the blacksmith will be able to use those. As well as our retinue, it's time to put together a militia of some sort using the king's aging weapons, and then we will get right on to building our own. I've created a polearm militia, but we don't have any of those weapons, so I should disband those guys, and I believe we need the spear militia. The spearmen, yeah, that's it. One of our town needs is to upgrade the church. It doesn't quite have enough space, so we're turning that into a small stone church, which should satisfy everybody. In the last episode, we laid out the plot for the manor, but we didn't order the construction. We just needed to wait for planks and things to be ready. Now they are building the palisade wall around my lordly manor. Our next order of business will be to get those industries up. Clothing, we've got a little bit of linen coming through, which is satisfying the need for a second type of clothing. And that was based on the small harvest of flax. We don't have a very large region, and yet we still haven't utilized very much of it. So let's get the forestry team down here to clear those logs out. We're going to need it for the next phase of defense. Mr. Plow is at it again. He is an absolute machine. He doesn't need any help. Said it before, this guy just plows away. He'll plow for months until it's done, while everyone else parties. Our farming teams are so efficient that the crops are nearly grown by the end of April, which is crazy. Love it. We get like 2 crops a year almost. There is a notification that keeps coming up regarding policies. Here it is. Let's click on this. There's not really much in the early access. We've got strict fasting, which lowers food consumption and approval at the same time, as well as increased wildlife growth at the expense of half crops. 13 months worth of fuel. The charcoal has made a huge difference, and I totally forgot about the woodcutters. The town has grown completely around it, so let's move it up here. One building I haven't used yet, the forestry hut. Let's see how that works. It's supposed to grow trees around its area, so we could have a little park here that the woodcutters can just pick from. The stone church is finished, and a short time ago, the town of Dunwick's population reached 100 people, and growing. We still have room for 16 families. One of our industries that's been running in the background quietly is the clay workers and the guys that make roof tiles, and we have 188 of them. So let's start at export to make a little bit extra cash. So we will reduce the surplus to 100, and we will sell those other 90. These guys on the end here really can't fulfill their needs. So let's make them the brew house. I think I've said that before. We need 5 regional wealth and 5 planks, and it needs malt to make beer. One of our garden patch houses seems to be full of vegetables. Anyway, let's go back to the beer. The beer. Brew extension on. Late August. A beautiful look there of the town. The last thing needed for beer production is the malt house. We'll put that nice and close to the brew house and not far from the other storehouse. Another industry we don't have is the dyer's workshop, which will use our berry surplus to create dye for clothing. We've got the ox train moving up those logs. We might have to build them a road so they don't have to walk so far. We'll go through the forest perhaps. We need to free up some hands. So who's not doing anything? The bloomery is going to start using that iron ore. We'll take someone off the windmill. We don't need it just now. The oven, we'll keep that going. Beer production will start shortly, so let's get on to making weapons. That will be our next priority. Do we have enough people to get that started? We've got 7 free families, but they're not working on the crops at the moment. Let's get them in the mining pit. We need an abundance of iron ore for this. The tavern is up, serving drinks. Woodcutter's lodge, forester's hut is unoccupied. We don't need that. Our crops still were harvested at the same time. They just had a lot more time to mature. And in they all come, and then we're going to have a whole bunch of free hands to help us build during winter. These plots have been built for a while, but I needed my approval to get the growth back. And so now that someone's living here, let's make our first artisan workshop. What will we make? I think we might make the tailor first to satisfy the clothing needs. But there is the bowyer, the turner, the joiner, I should say. Yeah, we're going to make a tailor first. Get the clothing sorted. To access these workshops, we need level 2 buildings. So we need to make sure all these plots are upgraded as people move in. And then we can turn them into new workshops. But at least this way we don't lose any of our workforce. The rest of our buildings are still being managed. The rain has damaged food at the market. They must have too much stock, they do. Otherwise it's safe. Sell your food. Second plot is upgraded. Let's get the artisan in. Who is it going to be? I think it's going to be the shoeman, the cobbler. That will satisfy all of our clothing needs. Winter time. 'Tis the season to get building. Let's bring everybody off and we'll get them into the cold industries. Get them in the saw pit. We need the planks. We need the beer. I haven't been brewing malt. Oops. Brewery doesn't need to be staffed. They are already there. The bloomeries, we need the dyers working. And we need a weaver. The woodcutter cleared a fair section, so let's get the forester in over the winter to see how much they can repair. See if the tailor is operating. Which one is it? The first one? What is he making? He's making gambesons from our linen. 2 linen to create 1 gambeson, or we can create clothing or cloaks. And one of our militiamen has been gifted a gambeson. Nice. We have a little bit of armor on our militia, our very first homemade armor. Let's get the next industry in. What will this one be? We've done the tailor and the cobbler. Let's go the joiner to make shields. No, the blacksmith. We need a blacksmith for weapons. The cycle continues. A new family's moved in, so we upgrade them to level 2 and then put a trade in the backyard. This one's got a family already too. Oh, we've had a growth. Upgrade them all. Upgrading, and we've run out of timber. We need to get on that. We've pushed the approval right up with all that extra work so we can bring the land tax back in. Approval's nearly 80%. Market food and clothing, keeping them happy. The communal oven seems to have more than enough flour to make bread for the next few seasons, and grain still. The extra mouths coming into the town don't seem to have affected our food. Midwinter and our industries are just pumping out. This is great. We have so many extra resources. I'm not going to trade them. I'm going to keep them all for Dunwick. Blacksmith is done. All the upgrades are done. Let's get the next industry in, which could be the bowyer or the joiner. Let's go the joiner. We need shields. They can create 2 types of shields or wooden parts. These guys are still upgrading. 4 families on that job. Slowly earning ourselves some personal wealth, and our reputation is looking great. We've got a message. We've received reports of a band of raiders. The raiders are back. Let's do something about that. Let's form up a full retinue. We've got the funds to buy the rest. Up to 12. And these are the weapons they could use, I believe. We can upgrade the armor for 18 personal wealth. Oh, look at that. Plate armor. The envy of the retinue. We have enough for 3, I think. Yes, 3. Sorry, Veet. You miss out. With that news, we need to prioritize the creation of arms. We can create sidearms for 2 iron slabs, spears, or pole arms. We need spears for our spearmen militia to be fully equipped, and we need them to have shields as well. We're creating small shields at the moment. We've created a few already, but we need large shields for the spearmen. Then the next thing we need to prioritize is archers and warbows. Can't call ourselves a medieval army without archers. Let's upgrade the plots. We're getting close to our population cap. Let's bring in some level 3 villages. We have satisfied the needs right next to the market. That's going to cost a fair bit. Planks, roof tiles, they might be fancy houses. Let's up the creation of timber. 3 families working, and these houses are very close to the storehouse, so they are being built very fast. They look like they're going to be big houses. They're also upgrade size houses too. The perfidious Baron is claiming well, his army just broke. What? Did they get assassinated in the forests? It's time to upgrade the rest of the retinue. We've earned enough personal wealth. We never spend it on ourselves, always on others. These guys are going to give the bandits a bit of a run for their money, assuming the bandits don't attack us in the dead of night on max speed. The joiner's making shields. He's made his first shields. We need to make sure planks keep coming in. They cost 2 each. It's pretty expensive. I was thinking it would be possible to import lambs and then grow them up and then sell them, but the buy price is the same as the sell price for a sheep. So let's just import sheep so we can make wool. We need wool. At the moment, we're hardly earning any influence, so we need to up the tea to the church. We're going to lose a little bit of food as a result. Let's check on the status of our militia. We need to have these guys fully equipped at the very least. Few more weapons and armor to go. Should we make another militia and just have them ill-equipped? Let's go with the militia footmen. We've already created light shields, and we've already created 19 axes. So that was fortunate. I didn't give that order. It must have been the default order. All of these level 3 plots are almost finished. Look how great that main road's going to look. And we've upgraded our settlement level. Let's put that point to use. It's tempting to take armor making, but I won't. We could take trade and logistics to actually make a profit off sheep. Bakeries at home? No, I don't. That doesn't seem very appealing to me. Our one bakery is taking care of everything at the moment. You could fence our plots so that we could allow those sheep that have been useless to do something by pooping all over the field. Okay, let's do that, I think. Irrigation, or we could go for rye, or apple orchards. Bit of a food hog. I do like my food upgrades. Yeah, fertilization. Industry is demanding a lot of timber at the moment, so we're going to cut a path through here, trying not to destroy any trees. We want to keep the wildlife preserve, because I feel like the town is just going to grow around this. Going to make another storehouse as well, closer to the main road, just for that surplus of weapons and other things that are going to be created over the next year. We're going to pump out that industry. Let's go another industry here. The bowyer is the last one that's remaining. 4 planks. Give this logging camp its own dedicated stable with 2 ox to speed up the process. We might build another logging camp. Now that the town's grown, let's add in more vegetable gardens. That way we will never run out of food, and if I get the chance to start a new town, I could just bombard it with food. We could just leap that next town into a new era. They won't have to scrabble like we did. And we almost, yeah, we have enough reputation now to expand our reach. Let's get some more chickens in. And the next town upgrade, I think, will be apples. Make sure these new buildings have adequate water supply, especially the tavern. We don't want the tavern to burn down. Another army's been sighted. I'm not sure if he's going... Oh, they took that center region. That center region has amazing fertility. That was going to be my next stop. Too slow. We better get on with the claim then. We'll take this one here up in the corner. One thing we need to consider is that every militiaman is someone's son or husband, and we only have access to 108 of them out of our 174 town population. That's quite a chunk if we lose them. Our spearmen are fully equipped. Some of our militia footmen with the axes have gambesons, but we need to get small shields built, and we need to build them accompanying weapons. We also need to pump out some war bows so that we have a full levy of archers. Haven't really experimented with the castle planner, and putting down a tower expanded the reach of the castle, so perhaps I can build something really crazy. Got a garrison tower, and I do wonder if these will shoot, or do I need to man them to kill attackers? Either way, I want to be more prepared than we were last time. Don't have the resources to give that order yet. It's a shame. And we have almost claimed our first region. There are some bandits to the north. I saw camps there, so my intent is to rally my militia, march out in the dead of night, and take the fight to the bandits. We have had a breach. I didn't see it happen, but judging by their angle and the way they're moving, they crossed our borders without so much as a hello. I think he's... Now the bandits are moved. No, he's leaving that region. Not sure what he's doing. Is he scouting us? My town is actually pretty secluded. It can't be seen from that main road. Using the new technology, let's fence off our fields and make them pastures when they're fallow. That way I could probably turn that pasture where the sheep are into a field. And they will increase the fertility when it's not being used. And might be able to get some other crops out as a result. There we go. We've upgraded those. Turned the other one into a field. And the sheep have just got free reign over all the fallow fields. Not far off our population cap, and we've almost reached 200 citizens. So let's increase the living spaces yet again. High density housing is the way to go. That way, if the raiders get in here, they can just kill everyone at the same time. No one has to wait. Our citizens have done a fantastic job readying up our militiamen. It's almost the end of November. If we don't march now, we're going to be stranded out there for the winter. So we are going to march tonight to crush the bandits in our new region to the north. Once they are crushed, and we have earned some experience, we may start a new settlement up there. Men of Dunwick, I have summoned you here today because we have a threat to our north. The raiders we have faced once before must be dealt with. And so I ask you to follow me into the night to crush these raiders once and for all. November 24th, 1269. The dawn breaks on a city united. We assemble our militia, not as frightened villagers, but as defenders of our home. The old weapons of the king have been replaced by tools forged in our own fires, and the hands that once trembled grip sword and shield with strength of righteous anger. The hour approaches when we shall march forth to confront these brigands. If the Baron's treachery is indeed at the root of this, then let him quake at the sound of our approach. We are a people tempered by trial, ready to defend what is ours. We fight not for glory, but for the right to live in peace, to see our children grow in a land free of fear. November 25th, 1269. We have arrived at the bandit camp, ready to do battle. The glow from their camp betraying their location. We shall attack immediately. The bandits have scattered. Ghosts in the wind at the sight of our band of strong-willed men. It matters little, though. Their fear will carry an unwritten message to their master. Dunwick stands vigilant, and its lord's blade ever ready. Alred of Dunwick. Those slimy scoundrels managed to hide from us. We will send the army up to the other camp to see whether they're there or not. And then this place might be safe to move into, start a new town. But that is something that is not immediately needed. The next order of business, I think, will be to expand our defenses. I'm not convinced that those raiders won't come back. Placing down towers extends the reach of your keep, which leaves me with some interesting options. Let's see how big we can make the castle. And, I mean, that's going to cost a lot just to edit the walls. How much would it cost to encircle the entire city? The city of Dunwick, an impenetrable fortress, hidden in the forest. Let's try it out. Let's see how far we can push the limits of the castle construction. It might mean that we have to completely strip this region of lumber. We'll soon see. I've already built the housing plots right up on the map border, so perhaps if I just put a little wall here, no one can cross it. That is the game theory. Wouldn't it be funny if they could just walk around it? But we will make sure we have enough men to protect that, if that's the case. Trying to connect the walls up is a little bit funny. Still getting used to that. The cost of this construction is already huge. Let's just drop down all of the watchtowers, as many as we can, all around the entire base, and then we'll join them with a wall. I'll wall off the border of our new region anyway, just in case. That'll be a friendly town, but Dunwick is taking no chances. If you look at the costs skyrocketing on the side, we are limited by our stone. We would have to open up to a new region to use all that stone. Now to link it up with a giant wall, and the plank cost is going to be insane. Not to mention the manpower cost. How long would this take to build, I think? I mean, it took 2 families a month to build just the keep. Just the manor. And up to the next map border. So it won't be a connected fence. I wonder if that will break the system. 436 logs of timber are required. 370 planks. But the economic burden this is going to place on our town. How cool does it look? We took away the garrison tower. It looks a bit out of place there. Let's just put a normal tower there. It's a massive tower, that garrison one. It's more suited for a stone castle. Or a lone watchtower out somewhere. Okay. That is the defensive line. If this is just a plan, we're going to have to find a way to pay for this. I did delete a lot of the watchtowers to try and bring the stone cost down to exactly what we have in stock, so it's all about the wood now. To pay for this, we're going to have to set up a major forestry operation. And we want to keep that central plot of trees alive. Our infantry have returned, our levymen. We'll release them from duty. The wives have been missing them. They've been gone for a little while. Since the end of November. They are back now, mid-December. Have all the stone needed to pull this off without imports or starting a new town. The blacksmith has been cranking out the pole axes. I'm not sure what tools do. Let's start making some of those. They're a bit cheaper. And they won't require planks to make. Just realized the way that the castle system works, I'm going to have to collect all these resources first before I can place the order. So, there's going to be a lot of wood chopping for the next year. A massive amount of timber, but we will also need a massive amount of planks, which means we need even more timber. I think we might have to strip the entire region. Alarm! The scouts have reported danger. We're going to have to raise a few levies. Our footmen and our retinue are going to guard the town. We may need the rest. There are 3 units of bandits coming. Maybe I should spend some personal wealth for some mercenaries so that the town's sons don't need to die. The ravenous vultures or the flock of crazy geese? Let's go with the vultures. They sound a little bit more dangerous. Stockpile weapons and shields for the next few months or so. And once we have the town population, I should be able to raise more levies. And then we should have a functional army. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure if there's a population cap, so this is all experimentation. All Main Street are now going to be level 3 houses, so we should level up the town yet again. Here we go. We've got another development point. Still tempted to take armor. But I think we can take the bandits. There aren't that many of them. It'll be our first major conflict. I think we're going to stick with the plan of making this a food specialty town. Sheep breeding or the apple orchards? The choices one must make. I'm not sure if you can keep leveling the town up either. So will I have a limited amount of points to spend is the question. Let's go with the orchard. Bandits have been spotted crossing the Baron's brand new fertile claim, which I really wanted to be mine. So this leads me to believe he is funding this little mission. Made a tactical error. The mercenaries are waiting in a different region. I thought they would come to us, but that was an assumption poorly made. So they're going to have to run if they are going to assist us and get their money. A bunch of different tax types, but only the land tax is available in early access. A mercenary tax would be great. It would pay for the guys that we currently have on the roster. While we have plans for grandest defenses, they're not going to be anywhere near close to ready by the time the bandits get here. So this will be the first defense of Dunwick, done with flesh and steel. The men of the levy are rushing to their stations. This will be interesting. Our first real taste of combat. Brave men of the city of Dunwick rushing to the levy point to defend their homes, the place they love. Bandits might get close to the town, but the next time we face them, they'll be greeted with a grand wall to rival anything that the king might have. Only his is made of stone, which isn't fair. Just bring word that the mercenaries are still a day away. So it's going to rest on the shoulders of the men of Dunwick. We have the retinue in the back line. We'll put the archer levy behind them. The footmen to cover that left flank. The spearmen hopefully will take the brunt of the charge. That's the plan. But not many plans survive contact with the enemy. Making sure that those mercenaries are running. I don't care if it takes them every ounce of energy they've got. They have about the same distance to cover as the bandits. Maybe a bit further. Hurry up. A few of our infantrymen have very light armor. The rest are wearing the clothes that they came in. Everyone has a shield that needs one. The stats there on the unit card, interesting. I'm sure through the course of play we'll figure out all of what that does. I'm hoping we're sitting on a little bit of elevation. I hope that helps. And we do have the weight of numbers. Maybe spread the formations out a bit. I'll move the levymen into the center, the footmen. Move the archers across. We'll try and have a little bit of a funneling maneuver, so the archers have a clear field of fire. The retinue can be there to plug any gaps or any breakthroughs. Here come those cretins, entering our lands through the King's Road. They will cross through the southern forest, and then they'll be upon us. The effectiveness of the retinue isn't very high, and I'm assuming it's because I made them run here. Same goes for the mercenaries. The bandits don't seem in any hurry, and that's giving us a chance to get our breath back, our our infantrymen have over 100% effectiveness. Cohesion, it seems to be the biggest factor. And I'm assuming that cohesion is just that they're all in formation. They're all okay. But if you know more about it, let me know in the comments. Let's get on foot and join our men. Where are the raiders? They are in sight. Hopefully the bowmen will open fire. Yes, the first volley is away. These raiders are shielded. Some of them. Alright, we need to make sure they don't just charge right up the center to attack our bowmen. So let's go with a pincer here. Yeah, the retinue's going to have to block that. Oh, look, I've been punished by my Total War muscle memory. Usually, in a Total War game, you would catch the unit there by catching them in a charge, and that would tie up the rest of the unit to come back. Not in the case of Manor Lords. So some of those charging infantry got through to my bowmen, and it'll be up to them to fight. Having a look at the close range fight, everyone's having a cheer. It would be great if I could have some semblance of control while I'm in this mode. Just so that I could micro as well as watch. Here come our mercenaries, running up the road full pelt, but the battle is already joined. The men of Dunwick doing their mothers proud. The mercenaries are going to come in. A big push to show that Dunwick is not alone in this fight. We are losing some men. We've lost 4 men from the militia footmen. Brave men, all. We need to try and minimize those losses. Get the retinue into the back. Show the strength of the Lord of Dunwick. And pulling back our militia footmen just to keep them safe. Well done, men, as we clear up the last of the stragglers. Get them. Crush them. Proudly waving the banner of House Dunwick. And victory is ours. The ale is on me, men. Although only 1 drink each, please. So the men of Dunwick have finally been able to prove their mettle on a battlefield face to face with their foe. Not running in the dark, not searching in the mist, face to face, blade to blade, and look what happened to them. Defeated, crushed against the wall of men that is Dunwick. You've done me proud, and I look forward to serving with you in the future. For Dunwick, you are dismissed. This is Manor Lords. This is the Chronicle of House Dunwick. I'm Commander Tyrael. See you next time.